1972 quarter value. How much is it worth today? If you have been wondering whether you can afford to buy a 1972 quarter coin, you have come to the perfect guide to make an assessment. The reality is that there are quite a lot of 1972 quarters that have been in circulation, and because of this enormous number of circulated coins from this series, its overall demand amongst the coin collectors has diminished understandably. However, it doesn't mean that all of these coins are worthless, because some can even be sold for prices higher than you can even fancy in your wildest dreams. The real art is to spot that gem from millions of other coins. So, if you are ready to learn all the important things about this coin series, let's get started. 1972 quarter value chart. In tribute to George Washington, the first U.S. president, the United States Treasury Department designed the 1972 Washington quarter as a circulation coin. The overall mass of this coin is around 5.67 grams, and its diameter is about 24.3 millimeters. Between 1932 and 1966, the mint produced Washington quarters with 90% silver content. However, due to increasing silver prices and a severe coin shortage, subsequent coins were minted using copper and nickel instead. As a result, the 1972 quarter does not contain silver but is composed of a copper-nickel alloy. 1972 no mint mark quarter value. The 1972 quarters that were produced by the Philadelphia Mint do not have a mint mark at all, but that's not an error at all. In fact, it happens to be the main feature distinguishing these coins from the 1972 quarters produced by all other mints, i.e., Denver and San Francisco. The total mintage from the Philadelphia Mint was estimated to be around 215,048,000, and this indicates that it wasn't an uncommon coin at all. And perhaps it is for this reason that you can get these for about 25 cents face value in the circulated condition. But that doesn't mean that you cannot find any 1972 quarter in the mint state at all. So, if you do find this coin in an absolutely pristine state with no signs of any damage at all, then the overall value of this coin can go up to as high as $5, which isn't too bad. Moreover, even though the Philadelphia minted 1972 quarters have been quite a lot in number, it is very hard to find this coin in the M66 condition, and because of this rarity, you can sell it for a substantially higher price. And when M66 are just a few hundred in number, you can very well guess how challenging it would be to come across a coin from this series that belongs to the M67 grade condition. Back in 2018, as per the PCGS notes, a 1972 quarter was graded at M67 and was sold for a high price of $1,320 in an auction. 1972 D quarter value. In 1972, quarters with the D mint mark hold a special place in history, as they were crafted at the famous Denver Mint. If you're curious about where to find this little D, just take a peek next to Washington's hair tie on the front side of the coin. With an impressive production run of 311,067,732 Washington quarters that year, these Denver struck coins are anything but rare. For the most part, you'll find that circulated 1972 quarters have a value equal to their face amount, just a cool 25 cents. Now, uncirculated 1972 Denver quarters are a different story. They are quite scarce, and if you're lucky enough to spot one without any mint mark signs, you could be looking at a value ranging from $1 to $5. As for the creme de la creme, the PCGS reports that the most valuable 1972 quarter was sold at auction in 2014, fetching an impressive $3,055. So, who knows, you might just have a hidden gem in your pocket change. Those who admire 1972 Washington quarters should pay special attention to the ones bearing an S mint mark. This unique symbol indicates that the San Francisco Mint was responsible for creating that particular 1972 quarter. And another interesting thing about this minted coin was that it was a proof version that was specifically for coin enthusiasts. To make these coins stand out, the mint employed highly polished planchets and utilized custom dies to strike them twice on high-resolution presses. This elaborate and exhaustive procedure simply optimized every tiny detail of these proof coins, making these quarters a dazzling addition to any collection. A total of 3,260,996 such 1972 quarters were manufactured in San Francisco and can be discovered within proof sets. Typically, a 1,972 Siemens quarter proof in average condition is valued between $3 and $5. However, mint state proofs with cameo contrast, elevated lettering, and no evidence of wear are definitely even more valuable. In fact, the PCGS has recorded the sale of the most expensive proof coin from this mint, which was put to auction back in 2007 and was sold for a high price value of about $1,380. So always stay alert, you never know when you might come across a gleaming gem. Grading a 1972 quarter involves a thorough examination to determine its condition and, subsequently, its value. Coin collectors actually have to pay really close attention to a coin's grade, as it directly impacts its worth. Grading is often performed by experienced collectors who assess the coin based on factors like wear, luster, and overall eye appeal. But if you are really confident, you can learn to do it yourself as well. For the 1972 quarter, the grading process begins by closely inspecting the coin's surface for any signs of wear or damage. A higher grade is assigned to quarters that have minimal wear and retain their original luster. Details like the sharpness of the design elements and the visibility of the coin's features also play a crucial role in grading. Coin grading typically follows a 70-point scale, known as the Sheldon scale, where 1 represents a coin in poor condition, and 70 signifies a flawless, mint state coin. Collectors often seek out 1972 quarters with higher grades, as they are more valuable and desirable. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual hobbyist, learning about coin grading is both fascinating and essential. Understanding the grading process helps you appreciate the true value of your 1972 quarter and ensures you make informed decisions when buying or selling these historical pieces. If you have been wondering whether you can afford to buy a 1972 quarter coin, you have come to the perfect guide to make an assessment. The reality is that there are quite a lot of 1972 quarters that have been in circulation, and because of this enormous number of circulated coins from this series, its overall demand amongst the coin collectors has diminished understandably. If you're still curious to learn more about the 1972 quarter grading, then you need to see this video.